Jai Gurudev. My name is Harris Kaplan, and it's a great delight to speak to you today about the Maharishi Vedic Pundits and about our program for deep experiences at the Brahmastan of India, the center point of India. I want to thank Dr. John Hagelin and Sam Katz for this very kind invitation to speak to everyone today. I'm speaking to you from Holland, from the home where Maharishi Mahesh Yogi spent so many years planning for this program of Vedic Pundits for the welfare of the world, for peace, for prosperity, for progress. And we've made quite a lot of progress in these last years, and I'd like to explain some of that. But I was thinking when planning this call that it might be good at first to show you a short video. It's about 10 minutes, and it explains what the Maharishi Vedic Pundit program is and what the Pundits do most days, and some sense of how the planning was structured and created. So video could please start with that first video. Please go ahead. It is a great delight to briefly present to the well-wishers of the Maharishi Vedic Pundits, the well-wishers of global peace and affluence, a short glimpse of the enormous dignity of the Pundits' lives and their uniqueness as quiet professional peacekeepers, administering the trends of time from its silent, eternal source in the unified field of all the laws of nature, the Ved. To ensure the permanent revival of the ancient Vedic tradition in its purity and completeness, Maharishi had to revive its vital component, the Vedic Pundits, whose specialty is both their own deep experience of yoga and the traditional performance of Vedic recitation from that silent level, yajna. When they meditate together, they create peace and coherence in collective consciousness. Performing yajnas together, the reverberations of their speech, based in the depth of the silent ocean of their consciousness, stirs and propels that unbounded ocean in waves of peace, harmony, and affluence for the whole world. For thousands of years, these Vedic Pundits have lived in small villages where this precious oral tradition was passed from father to son, based on the specific aspect of the Ved for which their family was suited. The quality of oral, unfettered learning from a young age and the physical structure of their speech that allows for pronunciation in a precise way is invaluable. It doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. Of course, everyone is Ved and has as their own potentiality the experience of the light of the divine, of total natural law. But the specialty of these Maharishi Vedic Pundits is in their nature-blessed ability to amplify and radiate those harmonious and progressive values for all people everywhere, and in their full-time profession of doing just that. It is why they're having to do anything else for their sustenance other than being a pundit is a great misfortune for all life, and why it's our honor and delight to support them. It is also why it is vital to provide all proper support for them, including vastu buildings, food, everything, for the maximum effectiveness of their Vedic performances. Maharishi created a detailed, systematic program to ensure the flourishing of the Pundits, whose depth of profession was almost lost to the world. He created a 3-level program to ensure that Maharishi Vedic Pundits would be available for this highest purpose for our generation and for all times to come. Maharishi sent teams to thousands of small villages where Pundit families lived and created a system, an entryway, so that thousands of boys could learn to meditate and be trained there by their local Gurujis, who are in turn trained and monitored by the Maharishi Pundit system. For the second stage, when the boys are about 14, Maharishi created residential campuses across India where the Vedic teachers, the Acharyas, could work with the boys towards a more perfected level of training. These residential campuses are in the countryside away from city life and its distractions. There the training proceeds quietly, day by day. At these campuses, the young Pundits learn advanced programs of meditation and become capable of performing fortune-creating, powerful personal and societal yagyas. And Maharishi perfected a system for perpetuating this perfect training, even using modern technology and all available means to ensure the purity of their teaching, not based on any one time or any one acharya, but rather on the eternal authenticity of the Ved and the Vedic tradition. Once finished their training at about 18 years of age, they are fully matured Vedic Pundits. During the days at the campuses, both as students and as mature Pundits, they follow a detailed routine from sunrise to evening. Their day is structured to perfect every aspect of their consciousness and physiology. Their group performance of TM in the TM City program, their time either in yagya performance or, for the younger ones, in the classroom, even to their group recitation before every meal, to their study in their personal living quarters, and their recreation. As fully matured Vedic Pundits, they perform either yagyas for individuals or specific Vedic performances, including special peace yagyas for the whole world. The culmination of this training program will be initially to have a large enough group of such dear Pundits for the whole world, at least 9,000 Maharishi Vedic Pundits at the Brahmastan of India, and later large groups at the 48 Brahmananda Saraswati Nagars and other locations around India, about 325,000 Maharishi Vedic Pundits in total. The key is to create the first group of 9,000 at the Brahmastan and secure from that one place the security of the whole world. We have already acquired over 1,750 acres, and the basic infrastructure of roads, utilities, water, and communications have all been put in. More than 200 buildings are completed, capable of comfortably accommodating about 2,000 Pundits, and construction has begun in that main campus area and 2 more areas, so that we can comfortably get up to the 9,000 Pundits. We will accomplish this goal of 9,000, and we will secure the monthly support for these dear pundits. Theirs is a highly blessed role for the world. They gain mastery of Atma, their own selves, and of the systematic utilization of the reverberations of Atma, from where all the infinitely diversified activity of creation emerges and remains. Their Vedic performances from this unbounded, eternal basis of all life are going to uplift all life everywhere. Our role is also blessed, to enjoy our own long, deep meditations, to enjoy our lives in fulfillment and the dawning good fortune for all mankind, and whenever and however possible and without strain, to support our dear Maharishi Vedic Pundits. Jai Gurudev. We had prepared this video to try and give some sense of something that's often quite difficult to explain. How do you explain to someone that the reverberations of sound can create an influence of peace for the world, and that when that sound is projected from a more integrated, functioning nervous system, settled from their own experience of meditation, it's that much more powerful? That's why we created the program at the Brahmastan of India to have guests come there and experience it, because it's something that really should be experienced itself. The Pundit recitation feels to most people when they're there, the most common experience that I hear when I go and meet the courses is people say, I feel like I'm coming home. I feel like I'm reconnecting to something which has always been there, and it's become enlivened. And in that process what happens is their own experience in meditation becomes deepened, and they take that back with them. This experience of seeing what yagyas are, these Vedic performances, is very, very profound. And it's a great gift of Maharishi that he made available this to all of us. Especially you saw some beautiful pictures that were taken of this Ati Rujabhishek Yagya. Ati Rujabhishek means 1,331 Vedic Pundits reciting at one time this most powerful yagya for peace. Once a week when people come to the Brahmastan, they go over to the main campus and they experience this. And I can really say for many people it's a life-changing experience. Yagyas are something very profound and very important for the world. I had a question that came in from the center in Virginia, one of the centers in Virginia, and it said, what's the difference between yagyas, for example, and listening to the Vedic Pundits and listening to Gandharva Ved? Gandharva Ved, many of you know, is that you could say the music of nature. So is it the same thing, really? And of course, there are some similar qualities. Both are Vedic recitation, is from the Ved, from that tradition of knowledge of natural law. And Gandharva Ved also comes from that tradition. It's one of the 40 aspects of Ved in the Vedic literature. But the difference is that yagyas take recourse to requesting, one could say, of that fundamental intelligence of natural law to accomplish something specific, either for oneself or for society. It's like a yagya is a way of meeting the administering intelligence of nature. When one wants to accomplish, say, something in the government, it's a very good idea to go to that specific ministry of finance or health or commerce and appeal to that minister that has the ability to accomplish a specific result. Yajnas are that appeal, you could say, through what's called a sankalpa, through an intention that goes to that fundamental silent level of life in which the laws of nature are present in their incipient form. And by the reverberations of those specific traditional recitations, it enlivens that area, it appeals to that area, and the results come from that area. It's a tremendous science of life. I wanted to give one example of one recitation that's you might enjoy, and it has also some pictures that were taken of the Pundits at the Brahmastan of India.
अथ श्री सरस्वती द्वादश नाम स्तोत्रम् ॐ सरस्वती द्वयं दृष्ट्वा वीणा पुस्तकधारिणी हंसवाहसमायुक्ता विद्यादानकरी मम प्रथमं भारती नाम द्वितीयं च सरस्वती तृतीयं शारदा देवी चतुर्थं हंसवाहिनी पञ्चमं जगदीख्यातं षष्ठं वागीश्वरी तथा कौमारी सप्तमं प्रोक्ता अष्टमं ब्रह्मचारिणी नवमं वृद्धिदात्री च दशमं वरदायिनी एकादशं शूद्रघ्रष्टा द्वादशं भुवनेश्वरी ब्राह्मी द्वादश नामानि त्रिसन्ध्यं यः पठेन्नरः सर्वसिद्धिकरी तस्या प्रसन्ना परमेश्वरी सा मे विशतु जिह्वाये ब्रह्मरूपा सरस्वती ॐ सरस्वती देव्यार्पणमस्तु.
This aspect of creating this wave of coherence from Vedic recitation, yajna, and from the experience of deep experience of meditation, yoga, is we're trying to create these very large groups in India. I wanted to mention that it's not just Vedic Pundits that are becoming enlivened in India. We have a very large school system, as many of you know. We have 148 schools. It's the largest private school system in India, over 100,000 students. We have 7,200 staff. 45,000 of the students are already yogic flyers. 54 schools have created this most advanced consciousness-based education program. We have 56,000 students in Maharishi Mahesh Yogi Vedic Vishwavidyalaya, the university, and it's probably about 7,000 or 8,000 students in 5 other Maharishi colleges. And every Saturday around India, we have about 250,000 people assemble in their areas for group meditation, all designed to create that coherence in society. So that very powerful aspect of yoga, of meditation, we continue to do on one hand. And the reason for that is said in the Yoga Sutras, that it said that in the vicinity of yoga, hostile tendencies are reduced. That it's not that this is a hope that something happens, but it's actually an effect, and it's measurable. It's measurable on the individual level. We can see when we meditate what's happening. And it's measurable also on the societal level. When more people meditate, the effect of that coherence spreading out. We've had a lot of fun in the last 2 years at the Brahmastan that one of the great brainwave researchers in America, Dr. Fred Travis, has come. He wanted to see what happens when you compare someone who's meditating and their brainwave patterns, and to someone who's meditating and then listening to the Vedic recitation. And also, I'll tell you after I'm going to play this short clip, what happens when we measure the Maharishi Vedic Pundits, what happens in their brainwaves when they recite. But if video can now play the third short clip.
Hello, my name is Fred Travis. I'm director of the Center for Brain, Consciousness, and Cognition. I've been here for the last month recording brainwaves in 27 of the guests at the Bajori campus when they were listening to the Vedic recitation by the Vedic Pundits. The pattern of brainwaves I've seen this month resembles what we saw last year, and that is during their transcendental meditation practice, there's increased alpha-1 coherence in the front of the brain, the executive centers of the brain. When those same people listened to Vedic recitation, coherence in the front of the brain in alpha-1 was even stronger. That's suggesting that listening to Vedic recitation is establishing a very deep, strong experience of pure consciousness. At the same time, we found increased coherence in a lower band called theta. The theta band is seen whenever your attention is on internal mental processing. And Vedic recitation seems to lead to higher coherence in both of these bands at the same time, both theta and alpha. What this indicates, I think, that listening to Vedic recitation is not an external experience, but it's an internal experience. People are following the sequence of Vedic sounds in their own self-referral consciousness. And this is what's structuring the very deep, profound experiences that people are reporting here. So I urge you to come, enjoy the blissful environment, the perfect vastu, and the chanting by the Vedic Pundits here at the Bajori campus at the Brahmastan of India. Thank you.
It's really interesting that we actually can point to a time when Maharishi assembled in India from 1987 to 1990 a large group of Vedic Pundits. At that time, we had about 7,000 Vedic Pundits, which was at that time the square root of 1% of the world's population, which is the basic number that we're looking for to create that ongoing influence, that needed influence of harmony and coherence and peace. At that time, the LA Times had a headline that said, "Peace is breaking out all over." It was the end of the Cold War, which the Berlin Wall fell in the most surprising way. It was a mistake. People didn't understand how the guards didn't get the message that they shouldn't let people through and let them through. And so in that kind of natural way, you could say, or effortless way, that period ended. 34 separate conflicts around the world all ended during that time. We weren't able to keep up the funding for the Vedic Pundits. I wish we had been able to do it, but now we're in the process of reassembling and creating that large group again, and we're hoping to do it on a permanent basis. And we'll continue to do, as Dr. Travis said, all the scientific research, because it's clear that from all the studies done on large groups meditating, and also when the Pundits assembled, that a very dramatic effect is going to happen, a very positive effect is going to happen. That effect is outwards, it's for the whole world. But I want to mention to you that the effect is also very much inside us. And the joy, the experience of having that enlivenment, of the experience of that natural law through the Vedic Pundit recitation and being in that very pure environment in India is also very profound. My wife Arlene prepared a video of a number of people, some from the United States that some of you may know, who came, and in this short clip now they're going to be describing what it's like actually to be there.
Hi, this is Bob and Carol Markowitz, and we just wanted to share with you our great delight of being at the Brahmastan and the Bajori campus. We had a fabulous time. It's just really great when the pundits come to you in a nice small room in a group of pundits. And then just the experience is really deep and sweet and just nice being around them. And then we had a great time going over to the main campus for the big Ruja Abhishek and to be around all the pundits there. And the rooms are really comfortable. It's a beautiful setting way out in the country, just very idyllic, very sweet, right by a flowing river where the villagers come to wash their clothes and their children, and the food was fabulous. So, and everyone there just wanted us to be really happy. It was also fun to be around so many international people. We just, from every country you can imagine, there was people there from Brazil to Kazakhstan, and it just created a really warm feeling, and we just really had a great time. Our experiences rounding there, the deep silence, just very powerful and enjoyable, and we're actually going back this year and very much looking forward to it. Thank you.
A visit to the Brahmastan of India is a thing we really like to do every year. But the standards are so great, the cleanliness, the plumbing, the furnishings, everything's so familiar. It's so professionally run. The management is terrific. The access from Delhi is close. It's less than 2 hours by turboprop, by SpiceJet or Air India. It's a quiet, rural, natural, beautiful location. The food is fantastic, but the Pundits, this thing is unique in the world as a resource. It's gold standard. Maharishi's training that has given these Maharishi Vedic Pundits a quality of recitation that is completely, it's literally out of this world. It's a most wonderful thing. You've got to visit.
The main thing about being at the Brahmastan is it brings you back to the self. Just total enlivenment of smrti. It's so easy to experience pure consciousness there, both in and out of program. The whole experience of being at the Brahmastan is about the Vedic tradition, the wonderful Pundits, enlightenment, and being able to personally be present at the Rudrabhishek. It's, historically unprecedented. It's such a wonderful opportunity. Everyone is so caring. There's so much loving attention to every detail of the experience. It's such a true, wonderful gift for Maharishi. I hope everyone has the opportunity to be there.
All courses are great. World Peace Assemblies, Invincibility Assemblies, but this is the greatest. Never have I known such a combination of riches in just 2 weeks. This is supreme. This is the one. Everyone who possibly can should go for at least 2 weeks. It is the place to be.
Jai Gurudev. This fall, Purusha will be going to the Brahmastan for our 5th season there. So we've seen really the successive changes that have taken place over the years there, and we're very happy to report that there is such a deep, profound level of silence and power there. It's an ideal place for Purusha to do its program, and really anyone. And when you add on to the comfort level that has been achieved there, and most importantly the daily performances of the Pundits, and our privilege to attend these performances, which are at a really superb level now. We would just like to thank Girishji and Rajaharishji for hosting us there, and encourage anyone who has an opportunity to attend the courses at the Brahmastan to do so. Jai Gurudev.
One of the things that people really get inspired in seeing is you get a sense of the continuum of training of Pundits. This timeless oral tradition, as the video mentioned earlier, you can actually see it continuing, because at the Brahmastan we both have older Pundits and also a fair number of younger Pundits in training that are coming. They tend to be from 14 on, but if they're from that local area, we have a large number of those Pundits as well. It's a very sweet to see that, because you can see in that sincerity and that purity of their lives and in their training, one gets a glimpse of what could happen if we can really get up to training that large number. We thought to show you today, along with these other clips that we've shown, a short video of the young Pundits under training. You get a sense of, as they're practicing, learning the different recitation, and then pictures of them to give a sense of that part of the Pundit program as well. it's very great memories for me because I remember both when that audio was taken and also that particular shot at the end when we brought in, there was a new group of pundits that had come in and were just kind of getting used to the Brahmastan and seeing those faces. It's really great to see. We'll be going there again. My family will be going in about 5 or 6 weeks, and we'll be there for 6 months. And it's really a fantastic experience. I wanted to invite anybody, if you have questions now. I'll be saying a few more comments, but while I'm doing that, if you have any questions now, you could send it to me by Skype if you're on your computer. One of the questions that we had gotten just before was, is it hard to get there? Is it a really difficult trip from the United States? And the answer is that it's long. It takes a while to get there, but it's not a difficult trip. There's so many different flights daily, either into Delhi or into Mumbai. Most of our guests fly into Delhi. Then what most people do is they spend a night in Delhi and then get on the flight in the morning, or the midday right now, that goes from Delhi and it flies to Jabalpur, which is the closest airport to us. It's in the center of India. And then we pick you up there and bring you to the Brahmastan. So it's easy to get there. Another question are the rooms really okay? I've heard stories in the past of people who went to India and it was really not comfortable, or people got sick. And we put a lot of time and attention into creating a really, what we hope people will experience as. And so far, over the 5 years of courses that we've held there, and I think now about 3,000 total people, guests, have come to the Brahmastan. What we've always heard is that people are surprised by the level of comfort. The rooms, everybody has a little, like a suite, you could say. There's you saw a picture of the sitting area in the front, and then the back, a bedroom. And then behind that, of course, you have your own private bathroom. People can share a room if they'd prefer. And then we also have deluxe suites for people who would like those. The food is really excellent. We have 3 full-time chefs on our course, and they're pretty fabulous, cooking both Western food and also Indian food. Generally, people end up after a day or so really enjoying the Indian food, but we make sure that there's also food that everybody's used to. We really don't have problems with people getting sick. The only thing that we've seen is if people come to India and travel around a lot before coming to the Brahmastan and then don't eat properly or don't take care of themselves, then occasionally we'll have some issues. We'll get colds or something like that. But generally it's been fantastic. To give another kind of a taste of what it's like, Arlene prepared a short video which she calls The Sights and Sounds of the Brahmastan, and it's to kind of give you that sense of what it's like to actually be there. I just got a Skype message from someone who had been to the Brahmastan, and they said to me, you have to make sure to tell everybody how deep and profound and life-changing it is. Tell them this. Tell them it might not always be available. One never knows. Take advantage of this incredible opportunity to come. Even it is a long trip. It's not a hard trip. Come, it's completely worth it, and a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Thank you for sending that beautiful note. It is. I mean, it's the most remarkable thing. I sometimes am amazed myself when I go back, because one lives one's life every day in the world, and you forget. It's easy to forget that there is a place from which really we can create this peace for the world. It's possible to forget some days, watching the news, watching political conventions, reading different articles. It's easy to forget that this possibility is not only something which might happen, but it's been started. And not just that, but that depth of inner experience of life isn't anymore a far-flung dream or hope for a few people, but it's a birthright for anyone who wants to live life in enlightenment. The possibility of taking that great promise of the family of man, the promise of inner fulfillment and outer success, is made much more resonant, more lively, more real, more immediate, of course by our meditation, and very much by having exposure to, for some time, hopefully you could come for at least a couple of weeks. 1 week is okay, but if possible, at least a couple of weeks, and really sink into that experience. Because what one gains out of that, one never loses. The increasing experience oneself of inner fulfillment once had is impossible to forget. And once experienced there, one takes it home. I'm very proud of the Pundits at the Brahmastan of India. I'm proud to be able to be part of a program that Maharishi created to offer that to everybody. I'm very, very proud also of Irene and all the team of administrators of the Pundit of the guest program at the Brahmastan of India, who really do a great job, as the video said before, of deeply caring for every single guest and making sure when you come that you're going to be very comfortable. It's a wonderful thing to be able to offer such a great secret to the world. It's one of those things that you feel that the whole thing's going on and people say to you, thank you, and you realize it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with this really great gift that comes from the Vedic tradition and that Maharishi specifically made available to us. I'll just see, there's a couple more messages coming in. I think that I'll just end because I told everyone we'd try to end in 45 minutes, so we'll have another call and take these other couple of questions another time. But I wanted to just end by reminding everyone how you could find out more about these courses. Please go to our website, which is MaharishiIndiaCourses.com. So Maharishi, all one word, MaharishiIndiaCourses.com. It's a fantastic site anyway, and we've just upgraded it, so you'll love visiting it. It has fantastic videos, some that you saw, but most that you haven't, probably 12, 15 videos anyway, and lots of information about the Brahmastan courses. So please visit MaharishiIndiaCourses.com. I very much hope to be able to see you come sometime to the Brahmastan, and if you can't, it's great that you have this knowledge that there is this tremendous program, and it's going to create something fantastic for the world. So from here in Holland to everyone in America, thank you so much for joining, and Jai Gurudev.